Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2016. This is the regular meeting of the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Good morning. Let the record reflect Commissioners Johnson, Soboroff, Kim, and Saltzman are present, and we have a quorum. Number one on the agenda, consent agenda items. We have no comment cards. Would a commissioner wish to pull any item for discussion?
Any items to be pulled?
I move approval of items 1A, B, C, and D.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The
Thank-
item passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number two on the agenda, commission comments.
Any commissioner comments this morning?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any comment cards on this?
We have one. We have Ms. Paula Miner.
Is this on item 2?
Item two.
Item two, commissioner comments. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm presenting a letter that will be submitted to each member of the commission in collaboration with Black Lives Matter, Los Angeles Community Action Network, and the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition. We're presenting this letter to you. We are deeply concerned by your disregard and failure to meaningfully respond to our apprehensions and our community-based solutions regarding the LAPD. The aforementioned concerns were documented and submitted to the Commission on November 24, 2015. We received no response. Those concerns were submitted in writing. And specifically to the President, since your appointment in September 2015, including your election to serve as President of the Commission, communities across LA have engaged your commission in a variety of ways. There have been sets of demands presented, evidence of several instances of human and civil rights violations suffered by community residents, and petitions and community-based research have been provided to you and your commission. Furthermore, communities have also approached you in good faith requesting a meeting with you in an informal public setting. To date, you continue to ignore this opportunity to have meaningful engagement with the community. Meeting and responding to community organizations is not a new or unprecedented request for this commission or for you. It is abundantly clear and well known throughout the community that you've been meeting with your supporters and others, and even inviting and encouraging them to speak at this police commission. It's readily apparent that you choose to date to only engage with those organizations and individuals who are supportive of you and the directions you choose to take the commission.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. We're now on item number three, report of the Chief of Police. Chief Beck.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
A couple of things I wanted to cover today. One, we have the first month completed of 2016, and while I think it's too early to go into crime numbers in detail because they have not had enough time to stabilize at this point, I will go about them generally and give you some comments on what we saw in neighboring cities over last year, and those numbers have just come out. So we have had 24 homicides in the first month of 2016. That's as compared to 22 in the first month of 2015. We are at a 1.6% total reduction in Part 1 crime as compared to last year for the first month. We've seen a increase in violent crime and a decrease in property crime generally in areas of the city. I think that it's important to highlight that at this point in time, we're seeing significant variations throughout the city, and that then I'll enumerate those. First, West Bureau, the western part of the city, has seen a fairly significant reduction in overall Part 1 crime so far this year, almost 6%. Valley Bureau has seen a crime reduction so far this year of 4.2%. South Bureau has seen a slight increase, 1.1%, and Central Bureau has seen the most dramatic increase, and that's at 4.2%. So, again, very early in the year, very early to draw conclusions, but I think that it's important to watch where we're going. Most of the other local cities have put out their crime stats for 2015. As you'll remember, the city of Los Angeles had a total Part 1 increase of 12.6% in 2015. The top 11 cities in the region all saw increases in Part 1 crime last year, the lowest being 5.3% increase, and the highest being 33% increase. So, the region saw an increase, and I think that, as the most significant city in the region, we are also affected by what happens there. Deployment,
Chief, one quick question on the crime report. Do you have a breakdown of the homicides and violent crime, gang-related versus non-gang-related, this year compared to last year, by any chance?
Let me see. It will take me 1 second to get you the numbers here. So far this year to date, we have had 12 homicides that are classified initially as gang-related. So that's 12 of the 24, and so that's 50%. We usually run about 60% in there. So, obviously, as crimes are investigated, some of these may be determined to be gang-related during their investigation. So, out of the 24, about half of them have been gang-related. In 15, the exact same number year-to-date in gang-related shootings, and that would have been a slightly larger percentage of the total because our total number is a little bit larger.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I also comment on traffic accidents, and again, way too early in the year to draw conclusions. I will say that so far through the first 3 weeks of 16, and all the other numbers I've given before have been the whole month, but this is for the first 3 weeks for traffic collisions. We've had just under 3,000 reportable traffic collisions in the city of Los Angeles, and last year we had just over 3,000. So very, very close, almost identical numbers, slightly down, but not enough to be significant. Personnel, sworn personnel, we have 9,939 sworn personnel assigned to Los Angeles Police Department, 2,672 civilians. We have 605 civilian vacancies. Currently, we have, and I'll comment on this because it's been a recent topic. Currently, we have 72 officers doing the duties of that would normally be done by custody assistants, and part of that is because of the vacancies in custody assistants, and they are part of our 605 civilian vacancies that we suffer at the moment. We have just under 400 reserve officers, 372 specialist volunteers, 61 chaplains, and 6,834 cadets in our cadet program. And that concludes my report.
Chief, graduates of the new officers,
Yes.
The numbers seem to be going up a little. Am I wrong in that, or it seems like there are more classes and the numbers are a little bit higher and a little bit more diverse? Looks like moving in the right directions. Is that correct? Or no?
Well, we're doing a little better. We're working with personnel department to get more people in the hiring pipeline. Last year, we hired just over 500 new Los Angeles police officers. We had about a 16% attrition rate in the academy, so that realized or actualized just slightly over 400 new Los Angeles police officers. This year, we're going to make every attempt to hire upwards of 700, and that is in order to keep up with attrition, and then to try to fill. We're currently at 9939. We are about 100 officers short of what we're budgeted for. So if we can hire those 100, it will make a difference in in our deployment and allow us to put more officers in the field. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. We do have two comment cards on this item. We have David Sanchez and Melina Abdullah.
Hello, everyone. I just came to just make a few comments. I think that's, in regards to statistics, I think the LAPD has been pushing up those statistics by continual harassment of people, especially in South Central Los Angeles. I've seen for a while there it slowed down the harassment, but now I see it picking back up again, where they're just pulling cars over and farming our community. And in South Central Los Angeles, we are tired of the LAPD farming our community to boast up your statistics so you can get more federal money. A lot of these statistics are lies, and a lot of it is prosecution of information, falsification of false information to boast up these statistics and to harass people and to arrest people on false charges. I'd just also like to say that their culture of cruelty has been going on for so long. It's time that you train your officers to stop being so cruel. I know a lot of them were in Afghanistan, Iraq. Even there in Afghanistan, you have rules of engagement. The rules of engagement is that you do not shoot until you are shot upon. Nonetheless, the rules here in the United States are meaner and crueler, where the point where you shoot first and ask questions later. We've already had too many people die in our streets in Los Angeles, and I say, save one life, have mercy on these young people, have mercy on the community. Your training needs to be done to the point where officers are trained to think before they pull the trigger. Obviously, they become very emotional and go back to Iraq or go back to Afghanistan, flashbacks, and they don't think, and they open fire on a lot of people. I think it's very important that the training be so that the officers begin to understand that there are such a thing as rules, and there's also a Treaty Guadalupe Hidalgo, which gives rights to these people. There's also the Constitution, U.S. Constitution, but the LAPD continues to violate the U.S. Constitution by violating the right of passageway. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Melina Abdullah, and I apologize, we do have two more. We have General Jeff and Damon Jackson.
Okay, thank you.
I also put a card in for number 3 as well.
So let me just say it's clear we come up here time and time again and we remind you, Charlie Beck, and we remind you, Matt Johnson, you work for us. You're supposed to be representing the people. And instead of being on the side of the people, you play fucking games the whole time. So your new MO is to lock people out of the building, to have your police intimidate us and tell us we're not allowed in until 9:25, hold us up at the security, make us take off everything. This has not happened before. Take off our shoes, get patted down, get wanded, slow up the process so we're not even allowed in to the room until after the meeting has started. And then you're enforcing a fake-ass rule about how we can't speak to these agenda items because our comment cards aren't in on time. You're making it so our comment cards can't be on time. That's a violation not just of the Brown Act, but it's a violation of ethics. You're supposed to be a lawyer. You're supposed to have a sense of ethics. This is not ethical. So you want to be on the side of the people, or you going to still be on the side of the pigs who killed Charlie Africa? You know what happened. You know that they murdered Brother Africa. You know that. And they're sitting here intimidating us and using the same tactics that they used to go up in his tent, to intimidate him, to frisk him, to look through his things on us. Maybe they haven't killed us yet, but we've had batons pulled on us. We've been told that we need to be doing certain things. We are engaged citizens. We are engaged residents of the community that you are supposed to be representing. Stop playing games. Stop playing games with us. We have a right to be here, and you accepted this position, which means you have to hear our voices. Stop playing games, Matt Johnson, and you got to go, Chief Beck. Everybody wants your ass gone.
General Jeff.
Thank you for your comments. People that are here on time, I definitely want them to have the opportunity to be in the room and speak. I hear you. Let me finish. Let me finish. You're disrupting. You will let me finish. I am going to look into this, and I want to make sure that everybody who gets here in a reasonable time has time to get into the room before we start. So I will look into this. If you would like to speak on submit a card and speak at a time. As I've said, I will look into this. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I was not aware of this issue. I will look into it. Next speaker.
General Jeff.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is General Jeff, a proud Skid Row resident and community activist. This is a long overdue day we've been waiting for. March 1st, 2015, Brother Africa, also known birth name is Charlie Kanang, was shot and murdered by Los Angeles Police Department officers right on San Pedro between 5th and 6th Streets in Skid Row. To this day, our community has been mourning. We have been grieving. There have been no trauma counselors, no grievance counselors to help us process the mental trauma and the atrocities that we're experiencing on a constant basis from Los Angeles Police Department. I don't know. That's something else that their smart teams can help us do. We don't see them out in the field blatantly identified. And so we've been waiting for the results. We expect we know what the autopsy report is. We know about the muzzle shots, the flesh shots, the kill shots, 2 to the flesh, 1 to the chest, and 1 to the heart that actually murdered that man. Regardless of whether he was a criminal, whether he committed a crime, or whether there's a criminal investigation going on, that man was murdered by Los Angeles Police Department, and we're anticipating that this commission's report will be reflective of such evidence. And so we are anticipating not only a swift and accurate report, but we want swift follow-up actions in accordance with the demands that have already been given before you for the rest of the people here in attendance today. We will be here all day, every day, waiting for an actual press conference. We want the information released, and we will be subjecting you all to the contents therein. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damon Jackson.
Hello, y'all know who I am, Teru Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning to you all. I'm definitely disappointed in how y'all running y'all meetings now. Last year was a lot more better off for the community. Like now y'all harassing the community. As always, y'all ain't never stopped. Oh, well, yeah, again, I got my information here. When I was shot in 2006, obviously y'all denying your wrongdoing, of course. I done brought this attention to Alexander Bustamante, Charlie Beck, the whole crew here. And obviously, I haven't got any kind of response back. I'm putting y'all guys on notice again. I'm about to put another action. I want y'all to be aware that there is going to be another action. I'm going to put it in myself, because obviously you guys are supposed to be helping me because y'all are supposed to be for the community. Y'all supposed to be here for me. I am a part of the community. But obviously, y'all trying not to help me. I asked about my police report. How many times have I asked? How many times have I came here and asked about that? About 1 million times. And nobody has responded. Nobody has came and talked to me. I'm pretty sure y'all got lawyers here that could help me out, say something. But no, he remains quiet. He's supposed to be for the community. Again, all these people here supposed to be, oh yeah, and it's very strange that we don't have any press here. Somebody needs to be here. But again, you gotta let the community speak. Agenda come on. These agenda items is only based on what how many donations y'all get and crime statistics. Give us something that the community can interact more with the board. Obviously, let us have more community meetings. Y'all see what y'all doing out here. Got us all blocked off. Y'all don't want the community in here. Come on. What's going on? Again, There's an action coming against y'all real soon. I hope all y'all get sued and fired or some shit.
Thank you for your comments.
The Red Chief Hunt.
Thank you again. Vote Michael. Huh? Yeah, I got it. Vote Michael Hunt 2016.com for United States Senate. But I want to talk about what's going on out here. It's a goddamn shame. And when I get up here and say it's a damn shame that we can't get into the building, and there's no reason for us not to be able to speak at any public comment session. When you hold up the line, you hold up everybody else here. We are the people. The Constitution is say we the people. We make you guys. You guys don't make us. We vote you guys in the office. Second of all, I got arrested on the 15th for wearing my Red Chief Hunt thing. When I went to go file a complaint, the guy read me my Miranda rights. I couldn't believe it. This is a legitimate complaint. He says I have the right to remain silent for filing a complaint. I never got that. Number two is it's another false arrest. You can't arrest me for wearing my scarf in a public building at a public meeting in the court order. This doesn't make any sense that you guys would turn around and make the same mistake that you guys gave me the $215,000 with, and you guys would make the same goddamn mistake. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get the city of Los Angeles. I've been doing this for the last 10 years, since 2004, 2005. I closed City Hall. Eric Garcetti says, I wish you wouldn't wear it, but you can wear it. Now, why would I get stopped and detained in City Hall for putting it on after I got past the metal detector? It doesn't make any sense. And I want to talk to whoever's in charge of doing this, because I say it's a lack of training. I became a statistic for racial profiling and bias policing. I can prove it, no doubt. I want somebody to investigate it, not next year, but this year. Not next month, but this month. Racial profiling. And I'm sending you guys a bill. Thank you. The Red Chief Hunt. Michael Hunt, 2016.com for U.S. Senate.
Thank you.
Hamid Khan, followed by Michael Novick.
So you've heard the frustration and the anger, the stop and frisk that is going on, the waiting in line. We've been out there since 9 o'clock, and they've been telling us you can't go in. And then they try to herd us in, and you all are messing around with all these agenda items. So enough said about that. So let's change that thing. I just want to go back to the chief's report that we're still waiting to find out what's going to happen with Charlie Africa. But do you know who Trishawn Carey is? Do you know who Trishawn Carey is?
I do not.
You don't. You need to know who Trishawn Carey is. Trishawn Carey is that black woman, a 95-pound woman who was in that video that was seen by millions of people all around the world when Charlie Africa was murdered by your cops. That's that woman.
I know who she is.
Right? You do know who she is. So do you know what's going on with her life? Do you know how the system is making a mockery of her life? Do you know how she's being paraded around as a person who is supposed to be a killer? Whose only crime supposedly was to be completely in a shell shock when her neighbor was being murdered with bullets. Like 5 people against 1, 5 to 1, and they need a gun. This is what was going on. And now Trishawn Carey is being handed from one place to another, thrown from one system to another, because nobody knows what to do about it. Because this man and his people, who are murderers, filed these charges that she is a killer, that she aided and abetted. What about Trishawn Carey? What are you going to do about Trishawn Carey, Matt? You're the president of the commission. See that video again. What are you going to do about that, Kathleen Kim? You speak about trafficking. You speak about human trafficking. Her body is being trafficked locally here from one structure to another, making a mockery of her life. A woman whose only did was go like this and say, what the fuck are you guys doing? This is a man, the 5 of you are shooting this person. That was her neighbor. That was her community. That was her comrade. But this is how the system makes a mockery of people. And that's what you need to clean up.
Morning, Michael Novick with White People for Black Lives. I want you to think self-critically about what you're communicating. I walked in and Chief Beck was droning on, business as usual. completely unemotional, citing numbers and statistics, and ignoring completely the fact that the LAPD killed 20 people last year, more than their normal average of about a dozen, where they usually kill about a person a month. And your lack of any sense of urgency or any sense of accountability communicates volumes. The rest of you sit here feeling embattled, giving out a vibe that you're feeling threatened by 20 or 30 community residents, and you have a phalanx of officers out there trying to prevent this coming in. Think how the community feels day after day when his troopers are out there on the street brutalizing people, killing people, intimidating people, harassing people, treating people like dirt because they don't have money to pay for rent for a house. And think about what you're communicating in terms of accountability and what message that gives people about what matters to you and what matters in this city. I'm here to tell you that Black Lives Matter and that poverty is not a crime, and that the way you treat people at these meetings reflects the way this city treats its own residents day in and day out. And if you feel embattled, again, imagine how the people in this city feel by those troopers and soldiers and combatants that you send out into the streets every day to make people feel like they have no place to belong in a city that they live in. And this commission needs to take the responsibility as theoretically representatives of the residents and concerned people of this city to control this armed body and to make sure that it respects the human rights of everybody in it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the final card is from Don Casey Lovelace.
Lovelace.
I'm a community member in South Los Angeles and a member of Black Lives Matters, and I also work for the SEIU, who represents the civilian employees in this building. I too was locked out. So I want that just to go on record, that even those who are representing the civilians who work for LAPD are being locked out of the building and unable to attend this meeting on time. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the final card on this item. Please let the record reflect Commissioner Figueroa Villa is now present. And we're now on item number 4.
Do we have cards on any items?
We have cards on A, C, and D.
A, B, and D.
I think she said C.
A, C, and D.
A, C, and D.
And D.
Okay.
I'd be interested in hearing
I want
G.
to B. Which one?
G.
G, and I would like to hear on B. So that leaves E, F, and H.
Yes, sir.
Do I?
Move approval. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those 3 items move unanimously. Let's go to item 4A. How many cards do we have on 4A?
We have 1 card, sir.
Is are any commissioners interested in hearing a presentation on this item? Okay, let's go to the card then.
We have Prentice Jenkins on 4A.
Prentice Jenkins, City of Life newsletter.
Good morning.
Publisher. Good morning. Active since 1991. I'd like to know how much this professional service agreement between City of Los Angeles and Sierra Cedar Inc. for the training and evaluation of management systems is going to cost the taxpayers. How much is it going to cost the City of Los Angeles? And in this agreement that you have, that you're trying to put together for a services agreement between the City of Los Angeles and what type of services are they going to provide? Is it prostitution? Is it Asian massage parlors? I know city councilmen like that stuff. Well, get yourself a happy ending. Yeah. So what type of service? How can I find out what type of services they're going to provide? It just says professional service agreement. I know a chick named Cinnamon that used to, she had a pole. She swung on a pole. She provided professional service agreements. Yeah, her name was Cinnamon. and she would provide for you professional service agreements. All this thing says is they provide professional service agreements. You know, you can get a pimp. You can bring a bunch of prostitutes in here, and they'll provide professional service agreements. Come on. Yeah. So, Big Steve, you know how that works. Yep. So, we're just talking about professional service agreements. Second Amendment to professional service agreements. Who is professional service agreements, and what professional services are they rendering? That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Mr. President, for Mr. Jenkins' information, as I've mentioned to him in the past, in the back of the room is a public book that has all of the agenda items, and this agenda report is included within those items.
Just read it.
Move to approval of item 4A.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that item moves unanimously. Let's go to item 4B.
4B.
Like a report on this item, please.
Department's report dated January 4th, 2016, relative to the Los Angeles County Fingerprint Identification System.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just when you called.
Yes.
Is there a question, or did you just want me to do a presentation?
If you wouldn't mind just giving us a little presentation on the issue.
Last year, the Public Safety Committee of the City Council provided some funding to the latent print unit to address some of the fingerprints that are not processed because of staffing shortages. We had done this report at the request of the Public Safety Committee because we had not been able to start addressing the unprocessed reports because we had had some problems with the county system. The LAFIS system is the fingerprint system that is owned by the county. We have a server here on site that's 13 years old. Because of some problems with that, we had a lot of downtime, like 400 hours or so. So what we had done was asked if we could reallocate some of that funding for overtime to try to catch up on the backlog that occurred because of the system downtime. And we have now done that. We've caught up with the backlog. We're current, and we are now currently sending out a notice letting the areas know that we're going to be able to process more property crime fingerprints that we have in the past.
What's the long-term solution to this problem?
There is a new system that the county is putting into place next year. It's called the IMBIS system. It is a brand new system. It's complete. It has much more advanced technology, and it'll be replacing the old system. So they'll be replacing all hardware, all processes. They're right now doing the product development for it. In the interim system, the interim solution is that the county has voted last week, the RAND board voted money for a new server that as soon as the procurement process is over, they'll put it in place, so that server will help with the problems until the new system is put into place sometime in 2017.
So 2017?
Yes.
And are we going to remain current between now and then?
We will try. It's really our saying current is really a product of if that system is working. If it slows down or if it stops, we have to have the county come out and fix it because it is not our system. We do not own it. We don't have any control of it. They're very responsive to this. They're working with us about different solutions, and they're the ones that help champion getting the funding approved for the new server. But if the server stays current, and right now we've managed to reduce some of the things that we could do, there's a queue that we can reduce. That's been reduced, so that should help us stay at least more stable. And it's been stable pretty much for the last 4 to 6 weeks. So if that continues, we should be able to stay current and actually do more than what we've been doing in the past.
And the new system is purchased by the county also?
Yes, it is.
Any other questions? we have any comments on this item?
We have none, sir.
None, no comments?
Move approval of the item.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the item moves unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna.
Okay, we're on 4C, which was pulled by card. We have the Red Chief Hunt.
We can go directly to the comment card unless any of my commissioners have any questions on this item.
Okay, Red Chief Hunt on 4C.
First of all, I want to apologize for not recognizing Black Lives Matter. It is Black History Month, and you guys, I'll give you guys self a round of applause. It's a big accomplishment when you can come out during Black History Month, where we only get 28 days. Now I want to comment about the records in the foothills, the duplicates. They should always have a backup system for the records. Any police department or any agency as big as the Los Angeles Police Department should have backups, no matter what. It's always some kind of mistakes made in the last 5 years about records and things like that. So it's always good to have a viable backups, and I'm for duplicate records and a backup system. So if anything goes wrong, Red Chief Hunt, vote Michael Hunt 2016.com for United States Senate.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed?
Okay, we're on 4D, and that was also pulled by card. We have the Red Chief Hunt.
Would any of my fellow commissioners like a report on this item? We can go directly to the card, please. Pass. Okay, do I have a motion on this
Move
item?
approval of the item.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That brings us to item 4G.
4G. 4G, Department's report dated January 27, 2016, relative to the Office of Inspector General's investigation of the Department's procurement practices, Department status report.
I held this item, and I would appreciate just a brief presentation, Mr. Alicon, if you're able
Sure.
to do that.
Certainly. Good morning, Commissioners. R.F. Alicon, Director of Constitutional Policing and Policy,
Good morning.
LAPD. Unfortunately, Chief Murphy and Commander Smith from Police Sciences and Training Bureau could not make it here today, so if there are any particular questions about the training that's provided, I'll do my best to answer. And, of course, the Inspector General's office is represented here by Jim Willis and David Barroway. As you recall, back on September 29th, the Inspector General presented the report looking at procurement practices within the department, specifically in some of the testing and evaluation. At that time, the Inspector General had recommendations. We then worked with the Inspector General's office to modify some of those so they were more tailored to what we identified were the things that would make sense moving forward. There were a series of those recommendations. Was asked that we'd come back within 90 days to give the status of that. As you see in the written report that's before you, we have made significant progress in all of the recommendation areas, and they are either implemented or in progress. The only one I believe that's in progress is the consideration and then ultimately the final approval of a revised product evaluation manual. The department has had one for a number of years. Actually, prior to this audit or this investigation, we had been looking and reviewing it. We held off on making changes until the completion of the report, and then also working with Mr. Willis and Mr. Barroway on any other changes. It has gone under some partial review. It's currently under review by the City Attorney's Office. It is in draft form, and we've also, the IG's office, I believe, has reviewed it, and we hope to have that completed within the next few weeks. If I could just touch upon a couple of other things. One of the things that Police Sciences and Training Bureau did was create a special ethics course with the Ethics Commission to have individuals who are involved with the procurement process or testing and evaluation get some additional training on the ethics rules and the process and procedures within the department. That occurred last week on 2 separate days with 2 separate groups. In addition, we have ensured that all those who are required to do the ethics training by February 1st, as all of you personally know, that has been completed. We haven't had issues with compliance in the past, but in this case we did make a concerted effort that everybody get it done early. As of the time of the report, 94% of the department personnel had done it. I believe right now given the deadline, it's probably around 97, 98%. The remaining are people who are on long-term IOD or for some reason are not on duty and therefore haven't taken the
Thank
test.
you. I just a comment and then just two questions. My comment is I'm really pleased with the progress. I thank you for it. Clearly, a lot has happened. A lot of work has gone into it. It's substantive, and I appreciate that very much. I also appreciate your sharing with me some of the documents over the weekend, which I've gone through, and I just think I have nothing but positive comments. So for all of the folks who've worked on this, thank you very much.
Thank you.
One question about the training. So at this point, everybody in the process has had this new ethics training, and for people who are involved in procurement, is the ethics portion that relates to procurement training that will repeat, or is it a one-time thing? How does that work?
I can't say with certainty that everybody who's involved has taken it yet.
Okay.
I anticipate there'll probably be some other courses that will be ongoing. As we do this, we'll reevaluate to see if it needs to be recurring, but certainly people who are new to the process, as we have people transfer or move around, would be required to take this additional training.
My suggestion, just for your consideration, is given the complexity of some of these things, I think once a year for folks who are directly in the process may well be a good idea.
Do we do it once a year?
We have to do, yeah.
Well, I think what the Commissioner's talking about is a separate training that
Yeah.
we've done just for the...
I understand.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then my other question is really just for the Inspector General, which is if you have comments or concerns that you'd like to bring forward.
Well, I know that Sergeant Rich Evans and Lieutenant Billy Brockway are humbled and they don't want their name mentioned, but Billy Brockway and Rich Evans worked with us taking phone calls over the weekend. Everybody out of Mr. Alakhan's shop worked with us all the time, and we're good to go at 90 days right now.
Great. Thank you.
Move approval of the item?
We do, excuse me, we do have one comment card on this item. We have Michael Novick.
Thank you. I'm sorry there's some confusion about what the item number was. I wanted to speak about the question of ethics, which he was just addressing. I think that the behavior of this department is extremely unethical, and if you're looking at the question of the ethics enforcement or any other issues of ethics related to the Inspector General, that the fact that Los Angeles has had the most mass arrests of people protesting police brutality of any department in the country is something you need to think at as unethical. The department has been forced to pay out huge sums of money for such unethical and illegal arrests. I was out on the streets protesting after the killings in Ferguson and elsewhere here in Los Angeles, and several hundred of us were kettled by LAPD on a street. One end was sealed off, and we tried to leave the other way out to Sunset Boulevard. They sealed off that end and started prodding us back into a little corral with officers on both sides, completely unethical, not allowed to leave. We were ordered to disperse and not allowed to disperse. Eventually, they released us, but several other incidents like that, numerous people were unethically arrested and held by this department, and none of those charges are being carried forward legitimately. This city is the city that had the most arrests for the Black Christmas protests around the country, and that's unethical. And I think that you really need to examine the ethics of this department very, very closely. And if the Inspector General is not giving you accurate assessments of the unethical behavior of this department, then you need to direct the Inspector General to investigate such unethical behavior. You yourselves have been highly unethical in your total disregard and ignorance of legitimate community concerns and letters sent to you by various organizations, including Black Lives Matter, the Los Angeles Community Action Network, and Stop LAPD Spying, and you need to respond in an ethical manner to those complaints. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now on item number 5, public comment. We have 24 cards.
24 cards?
Yes, sir. 25 cards.
25 cards.
The first 5, Patricia Mendoza.
We will give everyone the full 2 minutes.
Okay, so Patricia Mendoza, Paula Miner, Jamie Garcia, Mariela Saba, and Hamid Khan. ahead, Con.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. My name is Patricia Lacimis Mendoza. 3 weeks ago, I was here and I basically came to ask for help. Chief Beck wasn't here, was the assistant chief. Good morning. And with all due respect, I requested if I can have a police report done regarding my property that was stolen from me. The president requested the assistant chief to have someone help me that day. Also, prior to that date, like 3 months before, I had the vice president that also requested for someone to help me. I waited outside after the meeting. They sent a regular police officer. He did tell me that within 3 weeks, someone will be calling me. No one ever called me. I came this week. I had a nervous breakdown. They sent a young police officer at the crime division fraud claiming that he's new. I had to repeat the whole story. Then I requested if I can speak to a supervisor. He wasn't very nice. He was in a happy camper, trying to intimidate me, very arrogant, very rude. I found my documents, and in 2014, Charlie Beck, I sent you a letter explaining my situation. You did have my case transferred to the crime division and requested for someone to do a police report. As of today, I don't have a police report. I did give notice to this committee that the last time I called the police regarding a minor incident that I had with my brother, he was vandalism my property. That police officer from the Ram Park recommended my brother to evict me. I'm in a short notice. I have an eviction already from the court. I haven't been served. Today I would like to leave with help or with some kind of letter, with some kind of police report. But what I would like to say to everyone, and I'm going to try not to cry, there was a pastor that said in TV, the man has the power and has been given the knowledge and the power and the intelligence to handle the world, to protect and to serve this office. And if that man would be following the principle of God and would be doing the good things, and he would be a good man and help the people in the community, they wouldn't fail us with their human responsibility and their ethics. And today, the Rampart Police Station has failed me for the past 30 years. I've been a victim. I have a lot of police reports, and I need help.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Paula Miner.
I'm not Paula, but I do have class, and I really wanted to say something really quick. First and foremost, I just want to acknowledge the fact that I was one of those people that was held up. I wanted to be an engaged community citizen, but because I was held up outside, I have to rush and skip ahead of somebody because I was being held up outside. Also, I hope that you guys do the right thing and hello? I hope you guys do the right thing and release the information about Brother Africa's death at the end of this meeting. First and foremost, second most actually, on behalf of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles Community Network Action, and the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition, we are deeply concerned by your disregard and failure to meaningfully respond to our apprehensions and community-based solutions regarding the Los Angeles Police Department. So one of the aforementioned concerns was move the Board of Police Commissioners meeting time and location that is convenient for the community to attend and fully participate. That is an inconvenience to me, and this is what I'm literally facing now. I have to skip the line in order to talk to you guys. If you guys would just please listen to these people, listen to us, the community members, and move this to a situation where more community members can come out and actually voice their opinions and actually have agenda line items that are related to the community, that would be greatly appreciated. My name is Olatunde Kosoko. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Jamie Garcia.
My name is Nicole. I'm not Jamie Garcia. I'm expressing similar sentiments. I hope you do the right decision and seek justice and release the information regarding Brother Africa.
Thank you.
Mariela Saba.
Hello, I'm not Mariela. My name is Kiana Guns. I'm not going to talk to you guys about the issues of the community. I think you guys are all highly intelligent individuals. I think that you guys are fully aware of the issues in the community. All I'm asking is that you guys have integrity in what you do and say and release the information of Brother Africa. And I hope that you guys actually seek justice to protect and serve a member of your community who was shot and killed by one of Charlie Beck's employees or troopers.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lydia, and I'm just here to join the voices that are urging you to release the correct information.
Is there a problem with the microphone?
I'm just here to join the voices of the people urging you to release the correct information about Brother Africa. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am Paula Miner, and first of all, I want to make sure that Matt Johnson and all the members of the commission and all the OIG and Mr. Tiefink have a copy of the letter. Does everyone have a copy of the letter?
We've not received it yet, but I will make sure we all have it before
I
the
do
end of the
have
meeting.
them, and I'll make sure they get
Okay,
it.
because what we're speaking on today has to do with the contents of this letter, and we want it to go on record, and we are going to take the opportunity to read it into the file. But first of all, I want to say that Black Lives Matter, LA Can, Stop LAPD Spying Coalition have united. It seems that when we've been coming to the commission, there's been an effort to kind of divide and separate and not recognize that the things that we are saying are the concern of the total community. We've invited students, we've invited youth justice. As you saw today, we're inviting more and more people, and we will continue. This is our goal specifically in 2016, to have as many people as possible to come out here until we get some kind of response from this commission. You know, we've come here month after month, week after week, to get totally ignored, or to have certain individuals called to try to get to meet with them separately with the president and not include the total group. So I'm here to represent the beginning of our efforts of 2016, our beginning to involve more and more members of your community, of our community, the community that you're supposed to be representing.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie Garcia, and I wanted to continue reading this letter on record, and I'm going to continue where we just left off. So again, reasserting our demands. And I wanted to just check real quick, can we have that letter passed out right now so it is in front of everybody? And I can wait.
Go ahead and pass the letter around, please. We have. I let everybody have their full 2 minutes. There's 25 people. We will get the letter passed, but can you continue? I'm not going to stop the clock.
Okay, so, and I'll just continue too, so I have an extra 30 seconds. So, since your appointment in September 2015, including your election to serve as president of LA Board of Police Commissioners, communities across Los Angeles have engaged your commission in a variety of ways. There have been sets of demands presented, evidence of several instances of human and civil rights violations suffered by community residents have been recorded, and petitions and community-based research has been provided to you and your commission. Furthermore, communities have also approached you in good faith, requesting a meeting with you in an informal public setting. To date, you continue to ignore this opportunity to have meaningful engagement with the community. Meeting and responding to community organizations is not a new or unprecedented request for the LA Police Commission, nor you. It is abundantly clear and well known throughout the community that you have been meeting with your supporters and even inviting and encouraging them to speak at the Police Commission. It is readily apparent that you are choosing to date to only engage with those organizations and individuals who are supportive of you and the directions you choose to take the Commission. Any measure of critical perspective and analysis is frowned upon and summarily denied the same engagement opportunities afforded to your supporters. This approach runs counter to why the Commission was rhetorically founded and gives appearances that you are ill-equipped to actually debate the promise of your presidency. Your primary employment is representing some of the most recognizable people in film, television, including producers, directors, and writers, and athletes and musicians. With this in mind, you must understand what it means not to be recognized, to be ignored. Therefore, your extensive experience and charitable work, specifically with the Boys and Girls Club of South Central and with the Echo Park community, must bring an understanding to the struggles youth, particularly black youth, face in communities that are underserved and under-resourced. The people of the community may not have the media presence like superstars, but their voices and lives matter, whether or not you have the courage to acknowledge. Your heritage should provide you a roadmap on how stereotypes and suspicion of the other remain embedded in cultural and body politic of the United States. Moreover, how the other is policed and controlled. Yet there is hardly an acknowledgement. In 2015 alone, 20 community members were killed by LAPD officers, thus leading the nation in deaths of community members killed by an officer. In fact, in 2015, nationally, 1,139 people died at the hands of law enforcement. Members of the black community were overwhelmingly targets of this state-sanctioned carnage, and simply responding to this crisis by requesting more reports on police use of force is completely unacceptable. You have at your disposal a diverse community with ideas and recommendations, and we again demand that you meet with all sectors of this community. Don't continue to hide behind this commission.
Ms. Garcia, thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
Continuing. The country and the city of Los Angeles are at a critical juncture in history. Increasingly, people are feeling frustrated, angry, and disillusioned by the facade of civilian oversight and bodies such as the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners. We sincerely hope that you pay heed to the concerns and issues we raise. Responding to our demands will lead to constructive dialogue between the Commission and the community it represents. We request a response as soon as possible, but no later than February 16th this year. Feel free to reach us via email at stoplapdspying@gmail.com. Sincerely, Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Community Action Network, Stop LAPD Spying Coalition, and you are CC'd Richard Tefang, Executive Director of the Police Commissioners. In the letter, we have a clear list of demands that we have been bringing to our space here for a while, and here they are again. Dear Commissioners, the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition, the Los Angeles Community Action Network, and Black Lives Matter Los Angeles have continuously brought to your attention matters of grave concern to our communities, yet you continue to dismiss and ignore our demands and have failed to take meaningful action. We demand you take immediate action on the following. 1. Move the Board of Police Commissioners meeting time and location that is convenient for the community to attend and fully participate. We demand that these meetings be held in the evenings and away from the LAPD headquarters. Number 2, the power to discipline the LAPD officers should be reinstated to the LA Board of Police Commissioners with immediate effect.
Thank you for your comments.
Hamid Khan, followed by Craig Roberts, the Red
Khan,
Chief
Stop
Hunt.
LAPD Spying Coalition, and the U in this letter was you, Matt Johnson, just to make sure that you recognize who the U is. Continuing on demand number 3, conduct a thorough investigation of the sabotaging of the federal consent decree by LAPD officers who tampered with the digital in-car video and audio devices. 90 out of 300 patrol cars were impacted. Number 4, rescind Special Order 17 and terminate the suspicious activity reporting and the iWatch program with immediate effect. Hold public hearings on the human and civil rights violations and racial profiling resulting from these programs. Both the 2013 and 2015 Inspector General audit of the SAR program showed clearly the disproportionate impact of SAR on LA's black community. And that is a reality you can't hide behind the commission. Those are direct numbers. Number 5, we reject the use of drones by LAPD, order the removal and destruction of the 2 Dragonflyer X6 drones currently housed at the Inspector General's office with immediate effect, and prohibit LAPD from using drones. Number 6, discontinue special policing initiatives such as Safer Cities Initiative that are formed to address social conditions and problems that are not that are not criminal in nature. Number 7, stop selective enforcement of neutral laws, which is racial profiling, such as jaywalking, loitering, and open container laws against people who are black and brown in the city of Los Angeles, specifically in areas that are gentrifying. Number 8, fire LAPD Chief Charlie Beck. I'll repeat it again. Number 8, fire LAPD Chief Charlie Beck. Number 9, regular status updates. Number 9, regular status updates of investigations, disciplinary outcomes, and recommendations pursuant to use of force incidents resulting in killings of community members by LAPD officers. Fire Chief Charlie Beck. Fire Chief Charlie Beck. Fire Chief Charlie Beck. He needs to go. He needs to go.
Craig Roberts, followed by the Red Chief Hunt. Prentice Jenkins, Michael Novick, and General Jeff.
Good morning.
Good morning. Craig Roberts, resident of Skid Row, proud member of the Los Angeles Community Action Network. Since we've now read you our entire letter and list of demands, I'd like to speak about the thing which has upset me most this morning, your obvious hypocrisy about wanting to hear from the community when you use these stalling police state tactics at the front, going through long, complicated screenings and all with the purpose of delaying our ability to get in cards and get into a timely and effective speaking at the mic about community issues. This is an interesting tactic for a police commission whose theoretically job is to oversee the police department representing the community. You don't look like or act like representatives of the community. You look like a front for LAPD, which is basically running this city. LAPD is the real power in this city, the power of life and death, the power to harass. I see it every day on the Nickel, on 5th Street, on Skid Row, where Charlie Beck's new tactic is the smash and grab technique. Come to the tents, see somebody walk away, smash their tents to the ground, trash them in a trash truck. They're just gone. Your property's gone, your documents are gone, everything you own, setting you back. I mean, the irony of stealing from the people who have the least material goods is overwhelming. And you need to stop stealing from poor people and poor homeless people, because being poor and homeless is not a crime. You need to stop these crimes against the people. If you don't, you're going to be called out on it by DOJ and HUD, and you need to start spending money that you're giving to LAPD now to build permanent supportive housing. House keys, not handcuffs.
Thank you for your comments. As I mentioned earlier, I will be personally looking into the issues with getting people in timely.
Yes. Michael Hunt, 2016.com, U.S. Senate. So we can stop all of these problems. I remember when Chief Charlie Beck first took office, and he came out the mayor's house and said that we're not going to do all this kind of policing. We're not going to nickel and dime people, and we're not going to do all that. Despite that, I've been arrested 73 times for working, for taking care of my family, which don't make no sense. After winning in the Ninth Circuit, after winning a free speech case, I'm still being harassed today about the same stuff. I just don't understand that after the city gives me all their money, I'm still being harassed, I'm still African American, and it still doesn't make a difference. And yet we rely on Matt Johnson to come in to have a resolution for these problems. And it's very important that you meet with the community. This is what everybody's saying. You have to meet with the community on all levels. You have to go out there and do like I do. See it from firsthand, like you said, smashing them tents and things like that. You don't smash on the poor people. That's just insane. You don't smash on a person that's trying to work. That's insane. This is Black History Month. Charlie Beck, you do have to go, and it's going to be for your own good. And let me tell you why. Because you can no longer uphold what you said when you came out the mayor's house. I really believed in you. Your whole squad believed in you. But now you have failed. 73 times you have failed. And this is not fiction, or these are facts. I'm back in federal court again. Why? Why am I still being harassed? Because I'm black. I cannot file a thing at the local police. I can't file a complaint. If I file a complaint, they read me my Miranda rights. Man, Dr. King said I have a dream. Not keep on fucking with Michael Hunt.
Prentice Jenkins, City Life newsletter, publisher, active since 1991. Like to acknowledge Black Lives Matter, Dr. Abdullah, Hamid Khan, Stop LAPD Spying, and LA Can. I'd like all the information on Charlie Africa's murder. open to the public. And instead of talking about Charlie, I figured we'd go down memory lane. And let's watch what happened to him. This is Charlie Africa being murdered. There. He's down on the ground. Look out. Here it comes. Oh! Woo! That's a lot of shots. For a man that's on the ground? For a man that's on the ground. Yeah, wow. Yep, there it is. Let me, oh, they standing over his dead body now. He ain't moving now. That's how you put him down, like a dog in the street. A rabid dog. Put it now, and they still standing over him with their guns drawn. He's dead. Like it's coming back to life to get him. There it is. Let me show it to the commission. They haven't seen it yet. Yeah, that's Charlie being murdered. That's old Charlie. I went down memory lane. Look at that. Charlie being shot to death. Oh, these are City Life newsletter. I'd like that to go to all 5 members and this one to the chief. There it is. Now here come the cops. The cops come. Somebody called the cops.
Thank you for your comments.
Michael Novick.
I'm actually here to comment on item 6, but it's a closed session. You refuse to allow the public in, so I'm commenting now in the public comment period. Item 6A is public employee discipline, dismissal, release, public employee performance evaluation, officer-involved shootings, OIS. And I just want to point out to you, the blood of those 3 people is on your hands. And when you refer to them as OIS number 0117-15, OIS number 0118-15, OIS number 020-15, you're talking about 3 human beings that were killed by this police department. And to reduce them to numbers and bureaucraties is an act of further dehumanization. And you're responsible for it. You have 13 officers there, sergeants, police officers 2, police officers 3, 4 police officers 2. Those are 13 officers with blood on their hands, but the final responsibility lies with the police commissioner and the chief. I moderate a list on Yahoo groups called Stop Police Abuse Now, and I can tell you that year in and year out, the LAPD shoots about 50 people a year on the average since 1982 that I've been living in Los Angeles, and they kill about 12 people a year, a person a month. And last year they killed 20. That means they nearly doubled their normal average, which is a sickening figure. And for you to reduce it to numbers on a page and think it's something you can talk about in private when it's one of the most pressing public issues in the city of Los Angeles is a reflection of the fact that you don't recognize the blood that's on your hands. And you better start dealing with it, because the city will take matters into our own hands if you don't deal with it here and now.
So with,
General Jeff.
so with respect to the items in number 6, our deliberations have to be in private. They're personnel matters, and that's state law. So they are by law confidential. We could not discuss them publicly if we wanted to. Next speaker, please.
We have General Jeff, and then the 5 after are Melina Abdullah, Damon Jackson, Kai Utsumi, D.L., and Don Kasey Lovelace. Excuse me.
Good morning. My name is General Jeff, Skid Row community activist.
Good morning.
First, I didn't get the chance to, but I want to thank Chief Beck for doing the right thing, standing strong against the police union and recommending criminal charges against our homeless brother in Venice, Brandon Glenn. In Skid Row, Brother Kanang, also known as Brother Africa, what we know, there are a lot of, on the video, went 60 million views worldwide. So our video, we haven't seen LAPD's body cameras, so there's a lot that we don't know. But just to speak briefly about what we do know and what we expect this commission's findings to be is in regards to the numerous tactical errors by this Los Angeles Police Department. You see the video, you see batons flying all over the place like Keystone Cop movie. I don't understand that was, Trishawn Carey wouldn't be in the position she was in if the LAPD officers could control their damn batons. I don't understand why they're flying around. They could have been used against the officers in a different type of a manner. That's embarrassing. What else we know? We know that based on the autopsy that there were I spoke earlier about the muzzle shots, the kill shots, the flesh shots, and what that is for those that don't know, that's when the barrel is actually pressed right up against the flesh. There were two of those, one in the chest and one in the heart. Those are kill shots. So we do know that. But the whole thing is, why was the body moved? And then the reports came out that Brother Africa died on the way to the hospital. When clearly Prentice Jenkins just showed a video, we can see that he died right there on the scene. So again, there's LAPD tactical errors for tainting a crime scene by removing the body. So we know what we saw. Now we want the body camera footage, not only the video but the audio as well. The LAPD officers had to conspire and to come together to actually agree to move the body. So that's the type of information that we expect to hear from you all, like to fill in the blanks, because we expect recommendations of criminal charges against these officers for conspiring to move a body, murder, and numerous violations of LAPD tactics. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Melina Abdullah.
My name is Kei Utsumi. I am with Los Angeles Community Action Network and Stop LAPD Spying. We are human rights organization that protect and serve, are trying to protect and serve the poor black homeless people in Skid Row and other poor people that the LAPD does not consider to be human beings. I'm here to wait for this police commission, Matt Johnson, your conclusion on the Brother Africa, Charlie Cuning killing by the LAPD on a March morning. And this is very important because the whole criminal justice system is now going after Trishawn Carey, who was there on behalf of Charlie Cuning after he was shot. And they were friends, okay? So he was a black homeless man, a human being, and so is she, despite their poverty and homelessness. He was treated as an object. The LAPD treats black people in Skid Row and brown people, poor people, as object, not as subject, as human beings. And he was shot unnecessarily, just one of many cases, unnecessarily by LAPD, and Charlie Beck lets it go. And what is this commission going to do, Matt Johnson? And I want to wait for your conclusion today on what your conclusion is on that case. Okay.
Thank you.
Don Casey Lovelace.
Hi. I haven't attended these commission meetings month by month, week by week, but like my brothers and sisters have. But my conscience wouldn't allow me to not attend today. And in attending today and seeing the treatment, even me with proper ID having to walk, blocks around the block and to be put through the process that I was put through today, really just kind of hits hard, and it's very, very disappointing. And I can't allow my brothers and sisters to be here from age 20-year-old students to 80-year-old seniors doing this work anymore. I have to support. And so as a community member of South Los Angeles who supports the homeless on Skid Row who have very little, who are smashed and grabbed, I see it not just there, but I also see it in Lamert Park. I'm concerned, and I'm going to wait today, too, to hear what the findings are on Brother Africa's murder. And I expect some result. I hope that you will honor
your responsibility, your civic duty to the community. We have a duty to be here and to engage with you, and you also have a duty to engage with the community. And we just hope that you will do that and do that in a humane way moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damon Jackson.
My name is T. Rue Williams. Y'all failed to give me my police report. I done had it, but I was in jail because y'all gave me these fraudulent, charges, right? Attempted murder. We know about these charges. That's why I'm putting this action against y'all. But I'm trying to get my police report. I've talked about this numerous times. Damon Jackson was my friend. What y'all killed, the LAPDs. Y'all how y'all do the. Somehow, Ezel Ford was killed around the same time. So, because it was a big case that, other cases go up by the wayside, right? So a lot of cases is like that. A lot of names are not mentioned at all. So that's my duty to be here and make sure these names are uplifted. Black Lives Matter. This is Black History Month. I celebrate all year long, of course. I hope y'all recognize that Black lives do matter. Like I said, I'm disappointed in y'all because I believe y'all are professionals, and when I look at y'all, I'm like, y'all not professional at all. Because obviously, look what's going on. Look at the police station. Like look at this is a multi-billion-dollar business. It's like y'all get paid to lock people up. It's like y'all get paid off of people's misery. It's like sad business. I don't like that type of business. But the mass incarceration thing got us to stop. California, we definitely have to do something. LA, I know we have a big problem with locking people up. Just for anything, right? They'll just lock you up. But we don't need more police officers. We need more community members that's for the community, because obviously you professionals are not for the community. And like I said, I hope you get fired. I hope like the ethics and all these people, I hope we get more people that come in and say that you guys are just inhumane, I hope that the human resource people come in and shut y'all down. I hope they come down and shut y'all down. I really do.
DL.
Good morning.
What you say, Master? What you say? How y'all doing? What's up, Charlie? What's up, Charlie? You can't say what's up? Oh, you ain't gonna talk to me? Hands up, don't shoot. It's all good. You don't gotta say nothing. I know you. Hope you rest in peace, Charlie Back, for all the damage that you did to my community. And you, Alexandra, whatever your name is, Massa. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really have too much to say because I know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to my enemies up here today. You feel what I'm saying? I don't ask my enemy for justice. I just take justice. I take it because y'all raging war on us right now in the black community, black and brown community. Y'all raging war on us right now, you feel me? So I don't really know why we up in this motherfucker. All y'all. And you, white boy. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. You enslaved my ancestors. This is Black History Month. I'm going to remind you who I am. You know what I'm saying? You enslaved my ancestors. And you, Charlie Beck. All y'all up here. And you right there. What's your name? Black man. You don't want to look at me? You better look at me, though, because you a traitor to your race. That's what you are. You're working with the white establishment right now. You feel me? I'm going to use all my time up on you, black man, because you know what? I'm going to try to recruit you back to us right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a damn shame. You doing this for money, huh? I ain't never seen you out in the black community. I ain't never seen you out there, black man. But you up here with these fucking white people. That's a damn shame. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all want to fix the problem, y'all can fix the problem. But the thing is, y'all don't want to fix it because it's money in the Crips and Bloods, huh? It's money. But y'all got rid of the Black Panther Party, though. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Y'all keep on raging war on us. We gonna get tired. Charlie Back. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Rest in power.
Thank you for your comments. Next cards, please.
You know what I'm saying?
Melina Abdullah. And then the next 5 are Liam Glegg, Krista, Michael Williams, Olatunde, Nicole, and Emma Hardy.
So usually I speak from my conscious, I speak from my heart rather than writing down what I need to say. But this time I felt it was important to write down what I want to say because I want to be precise. I'm tired of coming here. I'm tired of the new hoops that you have us jump through every time we come. I'm tired of saying that we need you to stand up for the people, Matt Johnson. I'm tired of saying it. I'm disillusioned with you and I'm disillusioned with this whole system. But my ancestors will not let me sit at home. And your ancestors shouldn't let you sit there and just put a rubber stamp on what he does in killing your people. So I'm disillusioned, but I'm also outraged. I'm outraged because our children, our mothers, our fathers, all of us, we walk around with targets on our backs. Last night I taught a class and I showed my class the murder of Brother Africa, and I showed it as if it was data. But then when we watched it, it hung over the class because you killed somebody who has a spirit and a soul. And then you acted like he was wrong. You criminalize the people who are really the victims of a criminal system. You criminalize poor people rather than criminalizing the system that creates poverty. And so today we know that you're going to go back in that room, and we know that you're going to issue findings about the killing of Brother Africa. We know that you are going to issue findings on Saeed, Torres, and Martinez, his murderers. And we ask you on the 2nd day of February, are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to continue to cover for a police chief that murders my people and your people? Are you going to stand up? Are you going to do what's right? Because if you don't do what's right, the wrath of not only your people, but your ancestors, your creator, everything is going to fall down on you. So you need to do the right thing. We're going to be sitting here waiting. And you know what happens to a dream deferred, right? It absolutely explodes.
Thank you for your comments.
Is Liam Clegg?
Hello, commissioners. I'm Liam Clegg. I'm a graduate student at the California Institute of Technology.
Good morning.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing the outcome of your closed meeting, and I hope you do the right thing. But I want to share with you some research that I presented at the American Society of Criminology in Washington, D.C. in November. You probably know of the research suggesting that putting people in prison doesn't seem to do a whole lot to reduce crime. A study from a couple of guys in Berkeley found that a 10% increase in prisoners only gives you a 3% decrease rather in robberies, which is one of the biggest effects they find. Now, what I do is I use a new identification strategy based on changes in sentencing laws. And I actually find much larger effects, but with a little wrinkle. And actually having 10% more white people in prison seems to reduce robbery 10 to 20%. But having more black people in prison does nothing to reduce crime and actually probably causes crime to increase. So the basic idea of protecting the community by arresting people and locking them up for crimes can work, and police throughout the country seem to be doing a pretty good job when it comes to arresting white people. But when it comes to policing black people, besides all of the other problems, the police seem to be mostly ineffective and perhaps counterproductive. And I offer this for your consideration as you try to determine the causes of the increases in crime that the chief mentioned earlier. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Krista?
Hi,
Good morning.
My name is Krista, and I was in the class that Professor Abdullah gave last night. And she said we could come here today to be a part of this. And I woke up this morning and I was super scared to come. And it's not because of anybody in this room. It's because of the police. You never know what the police are going to do. And I never know what they're capable of until I read a new article or I see a new video. And I get here and you guys have all this protection around you. And it's not fair that you guys get all this protection. You find ways to continue to protect yourselves with brigades politically, and then we are denied protection. That's it.
Michael Williams.
Thank you for your comments.
Michael Williams.
Today, I want to talk about, because I'm like shocked Charlie Beck is here for public comment. Wow. I want to talk about Chief Charlie Beck. And, you know, I just read an interesting article the other day about Chief Charlie Beck about the police dismantling antennas to disable recording devices on their vehicles. And the article said that neither Chief Charlie Beck or the commission knew beforehand, which is hard to believe, that no one knew about it. But whether or not Chief Charlie Beck truly did not know, or whether or not, I believe he knew. I don't believe that. You guys basically are keeping a guy that's so incompetent that he doesn't know that his police force is doing things that are undermining the protection of our community. And he's constantly making you guys look like idiots all the time. But you constantly protect him. You constantly try to make him your chief. You constantly try to reaffirm him as your chief when he's making you guys look stupid. I mean, this guy basically said you guys have no power when you guys made that decision regarding Ezell Ford. Okay? He basically doesn't do anything. He doesn't solve crime. He doesn't protect the community. He's lost the endorsement of his own people, the union, the police union. And now he has a scandal where police officers are dismantling devices that would hold them accountable, and he has no idea that they're doing this, or he does have ideas that they're doing it, and he hasn't told you. Now you guys look like idiots, and you guys look like you're implicated. Come on, guys, fire him.
Olatunde. Is Olatunde here? Okay. Nicole. And Emma Hardy.
Good morning.
First of all, I'd just like to say I know people have already spoken on the barricades that were set up, but this was my first time attending this commission meeting. When I showed up this morning, I thought I was in the wrong place. I thought this couldn't be a community meeting because it was closed to the public when I looked at it. I didn't see how could this be the right place. It doesn't seem to be serving the community when you can't get in. Also, I'd like to say Chief Beck is tolling. He is stalling. He's using the fact that the district attorney is allegedly investigating. As long as the DA is doing that, he gets to set the clock back. That's why there's been nothing on Ezell, and it's a strategy used between the DA and the LAPD.
BR. Is Kiana present?
Move on to the next speaker, please.
Lydia. And I believe she spoke her.
I'm not Lydia. My name is Belinda, and I'm here in support of Black Lives Matter. I'm an activist and an LA resident. I'm against discrimination and civil rights violations of any sort, especially brutality, physical and emotional and economical. That is and has been the mainstay here in Los Angeles. Just stop, please. Rest in peace, Brother Africa.
Is Kiana here?
Thank you for your comments.
Okay. Ted Hayes.
You don't get your closed session discussion in this room, but nevertheless you put us out into the lobby where we can be harassed with an unlawful assembly. Why can't we sit here in comfort? Why must we sit on that cold marble floor while you're doing your deliberations on closed sessions? Now this one, with these number of closed session items, we might be here for more than an hour on the cold marble floor, rather than sitting here in air-conditioned comfort. The overflow room. When this room is filled, the overflow room is supposed to be vacant. 3 times. The overflow room was never utilized. You see, these are the kind of things that we blame the commission for specifically. You know what's going on with this room. You know what goes on with the overflow. So we can say you're treating us very, very poorly when we cannot sit here rather than be in the lobby, where we have to be harassed by unlawful assemblies in the lobbies of the police department. Police officers use deadly force when there's a reasonable suspicion or belief that someone, including themselves, might be harmed. 100 rounds fired at 2 women delivering newspapers. Why wasn't the officers who were jeopardized by Dahmer given witness protection, a new identity, a new location? Were the officers out there at night with night goggles? We have night goggles. We can see who's in a car or truck that looks like any other truck on the highway. 100 rounds, a decoy, an assassination. That's what people are concerned about.
Okay, ma'am, you can. Can you state your name?
Lizette Hernandez, not Lydia. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Lizette Hernandez, and I am a resident of South Central LA. I actually used to be on the South LA Advisory Committee, and interestingly enough, we were brought here to this facility before it was opened, and into this area when we were told that this would be an area specifically for the communities to be able to voice our concerns and to receive responses. And it was amazing, you know, how it was pitched to us, like just all the sort of community engagement that you would be able to do through this room. And all these quotes are beautiful. But after following what's been happening here, I don't think you guys are, all of you, doing that job, you know? And so it's incredible. I mean, Brother Africa, guide my words. May Ezo Ford guide my words. I'm all about making sure that there is civic engagement and leadership for the communities that all of you serve. However, right now, that is not what people are feeling. And in LA, I mean, in South Central in particular, for example, it is completely over-militarized. I grew up in that community. I'm a single mom. I have an 8-year-old boy. He's afraid of you guys. He does not like the police. He's just 8 years old. I got pulled over once for some sort of traffic ticket. He was terrified. The police officer, what's wrong with your little boy? I said, he's scared of you guys. He sees and hears what's happening. And I know some of you may not care or may not understand because you don't live in our communities. But you know what? We all end up in the same kind of grave, same size. So stay humble, all right? Think of the legacy that you are leaving, because the fact of the matter is that we're grown now. We're not little kids, and we can analyze all the statistics that you have, and we also have our own powers that you have no idea about. And you and the Latina sister over there, remember who you are, because all these police officers, especially you Latino police officers that think that you're better than the black community, no, eso no es así, okay? Ustedes son como cualquier otra persona, y no se olviden de eso, okay? So I'm asking you to please serve this community right, and please bring justice for Brother Africa. We remember you. We're watching you more than you think.
Thank you for your comment.
Kwasi Krumani.
My name is Kwasi Nkrumah. I'm here today as the co-chair of the Martin Luther King Coalition of Greater Los Angeles. I'm also the president, the elected president of the Echo Park Neighborhood Council, which was recently deprived of its right to function by the city for illegal reasons, violating our civil rights and the city charter. I don't come to this commission that often. My general rule is that if I see a branch of government that is not responding to the community, I limit how much I spend my time with that branch of government, because I believe very firmly that the real power is in our community, and most of my time and energy is spent there, not here. I show up here partly because I want you to know that the Martin Luther King Coalition and the many, many different groups that we work with are strongly supportive of those groups who do show up here week after week to protest the things that are going on in our community and to demand accountability from this body. We want something done about these murders. We want to end to this bullshit and stonewalling by people who are responsible for controlling the armed forces that are in our communities and that are functioning according to their own lights. It seems that protect and to serve, that people in power today generally, from the police agencies on up, are mostly about protecting and serving themselves. That's got to stop. You all know that in Chicago, some very highly placed people who are supposed to be regulating the police had to step down recently. That's going to happen here too. We are going to ensure that it happens if you don't do something about what's going on the ground. We're not going to keep coming here talking to you about it. We're talking to people in the community about it, and you're going to feel the results sooner or later. But don't you have any real sense of responsibility for what is going on, because you are contributing to creating a catastrophic situation in this city?
Okay, sir. Thank you for your comments.
And the final comment card on here just says BR. Is that person here? Okay. We're now on item number 6, closed session. We have 6 comment cards on 6A. 1. That would be Prentice Jenkins, Hamid Khan, Melina Abdullah, Michael Williams, Lizette Hernandez, and Ted Hayes.
Prentice Jenkins, City Life newsletter publisher, activist since 1991. Officer-involved shootings. Here, when we're talking about officer-involved shootings, officers continue to shoot people even with these statements here: commitment to leadership, reverence for the law. How can you continue to shoot people if you have commitment to leadership and reverence for the law? That's not reverence for the law if you continue to shoot people. If you integrity in all we say and do, quality through continuous improvement. Well, I don't know about you. I ain't seen any improvement. I just keep seeing people get gunned down. I continue to see officer-involved shootings. Now, don't get me wrong. There are cops that need to shoot people because those people are trying to kill other people, and those people are trying to kill the cops. So I know if I was a cop, I got to shoot somebody at some point. You don't really want to. Most cops don't want to shoot people, and then there are those crazy ones. You know, the ones I showed you in my newsletter. Yeah, I'm writing a manuscript on it too, presenting it to the American Psychological Association about crazy cops. And that's why they actually shoot people. Charlie Africa was shot to death by an officer-involved shooting. Gunned him down like a dog in the street. Ezell Ford, officer-involved shooting. Gunned down like a dog in the street. Angie Guzman, gunned down like a dog in the street. All these people were gunned down like dogs in the street by people who say they have commitment to leadership and they have reverence for the law. I already know what this board's going to come up with, what they're going to say when they go back there. The cops were within their rights to do what they did. We're not going to get justice, folks.
Hamid Khan here. I am just having a problem with this thing because is the OIS 1715, is that on Charlie Africa? Yes. Nobody's going to answer, are you? And I think that's where the problem lies, because you keep on talking about state laws and privacy and protecting the identities of that, but what we have is that every 7 hours and 42 minutes, somebody is gunned down by cops in this country. What happens to the bodies and lives of those people? So here we have, behind closed doors, you're going to be doing this disciplinary hearing. You're going to come back and let us know, while all this time, the hearing and the initial report that was filed, and now as a result of the sham body cameras that have been thrust upon the community, your cops have a right, and they're even told by the department to review the footage before they write their report. So all of this process is being manipulated. Everything. What is happening is that the report is being crafted per what is coming up on the video. It is nuanced according to what is showing up on the video. It is being narrated as what is being done on the video. So on one hand, this is being done behind closed doors, and we know that this is about Charlie Africa, or at least we think it's about Charlie Africa, but have the decency to let us know that whose lives are you going to decide upon today? Because you are the judge and the jury yourself. There is no transparency here. There is no accountability. Let's kind of just be very clear about it. Let's check that box. So throughout this process, you are going to be now presiding over an evidence that was tainted to begin with, that was manipulated to begin with. We're going to be here waiting for you to come back, and we're going to be here to see what you're going to do today about this thing.
There are 3 officer-involved shooting cases that we will be evaluating today. One of them is Charlie Kinane, and we will be reporting on all 3 of them when we come back. And the police chief's report on each of those will be available immediately after. The inspector general's will be available sometime after online.
All right, man. We'll be right here. We're not going anywhere.
Melina Abdullah.
So I want to echo what Hamid Khan said. I appreciate you for confirming what we learned about. What would have been more helpful is if we knew about Brother Africa, the findings on Brother Africa being reported back on before the meeting, so that folks who love him, folks who care about the Skid Row community, folks who want to see Saeed, Torres, and Martinez disciplined could be here to hear your report. Instead, it's kind of hidden, and this is kind of the process that you all have engaged in. You have the power to change that, Matt Johnson. You have the power to be more forthcoming and more transparent and more engaging in the community. You have the power not to cover for a police chief who steals from charity, right? Or covers for his police who steal from charity, or leads the most murderous police department in the entire nation. You have the power to really stand for the community. And that requires transparency, that requires respect, that requires an understanding that we are here because we love our people. We are here because we believe Brother Africa's life matters. And we're here because we want to end this really incestuous relationship between the police chief and the DA who keep batting responsibility from one person to the other. We know that Ezell Ford, the findings came out right on Brother Ezell Ford. But nothing happened because the police commission has decided to entrust who is really kind of a criminal who leads a crime ring with the disciplining of officers. Nothing has happened to Wampler and Villegas who murdered Ezell Ford, even though your findings said that they were out of policy. And so what are you going to do? You have the power to shift that policy and to say maybe the leader of this murderous police force shouldn't be in charge of issuing discipline. Maybe the police commission, who's supposed to represent the community, should take that responsibility back on. So we're going to be here, and we want to hear what you have to say, and we urge you to do the right thing.
Thank you. The disciplinary power is written into the charter. It is not an item for the police commission to determine. It is written into the city charter.
Michael Williams.
Okay. About a couple of weeks after Brother Africa was killed, Saeed was here at the police commission, still doing his duties. I guess you guys were trying to hide him here. And I find that interesting that you have a video where it clearly shows that these officers broke every kind of policy, every kind of tactical precision, and then killed someone because of it. Yet you still have this guy walking around interacting with the community. This next, you're going to go into a room, you're going to talk, and you might come back with a response that's favorable, that we might be happy about. But the problem is right here. You guys refuse to fire this man who makes you guys look powerless. You guys can go back and make whatever decision you're going to make, but is it going to be like Ezell? Is it going to be where, okay, you make a decision and Chief Charlie Beck just shrugs it off? He makes another video talking about how he wants to protect his officers. Is that what's going to happen today? Or are you actually going to give a damn and actually show that you care about this community, that you are a body that has some kind of power and some kind of reckoning in this police structure, and actually either tell him that he has to get rid of these officers or he gets gone? Is that what's going to be your decision today? I wonder, because for as far as I can see, this whole commission is a farce, and the only person with real power here is Chief Charlie Beck. Are you going to show this community that you know and that you agree that Black Lives Matter?
Mr. Hayes.
Lisette Hernandez. Lisette Hernandez.
Good morning again. I wish Commissioner Johnson was here, but I actually had to think about this because I'm not sure if I wanted to share it, but I am going to share it. First of all, there's a lot of risk that us as organizers, activists, supporters are taking in doing this. And I don't know if you realize this, but basically there have been break-ins at people's homes, break-ins in people's cars, and in most of the cases it's been single Black women that are leading this whole effort to bring justice to these people's names. And I don't know if these are renegade cops or hires or whatever, but I also got broken into back in November, and I was also, like, there's surveillance, and it is not my imagination. These are things that are happening, and I want you to know that I have personally seen it myself at actions, and perhaps because people don't think I'm looking, but I've seen people follow Black activists, you know, and they're surveilling them and things of that nature. While you guys are, you know, go ahead and taking your time and looking at your studies and all this sort of stuff, our lives are being put at risk, literally every single day, in our homes, in our cars, at our jobs, okay? So this is why this is so important, all right? And I do think that history will absolve us. I do think that these things will come to light. This is the first time I know I've gone on public record about this, but we do know that it's happening. And in all of those cases, nothing was ever stolen. So it's pure intimidation and fear tactics that are being brought onto mostly women, okay? Which is really cowardly for whoever is behind this, and for whoever is looking the other way, because someone knows something, and apparently it is a very organized sort of, it's not something that is random. And we know that history has shown that this police department has actually been part of these activities in the past 30, 40, 50 years. So it's not too much for us to think that you would do it again. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ted Hayes, and we do have two more cards. We have the Red Chief Hunt and Patricia Mendoza.
Mr. Hayes.
Mr. T. Fink, there's an officer back there filming. I'd like to get a copy or see what he's filming. His red light is on. You can see who he is. It's an old English term. It's called outlaw. It means the person is outside the protections of the law, meaning they can be brought in dead or alive, preferably dead. Save paperwork that way. And so it's the prevalent idea that the police department approaches the community as being outlaws. They can simply be gunned down and brought in to the coroner's office or wherever. That's because of the Dahmer case. When officers can simply start firing because they see a vehicle, because they claim that vehicle threatens their lives or the lives of other people, nobody's going to think that's rational or believable. But that's what was taking place with Dahmer. I think that's the principal case to tell you something about the police department's ability or willingness to simply open fire 100 rounds at two women delivering newspapers early in the morning. So that sets the tempo, the idea about police activity, trigger happy, whatever term you like to utilize, when it comes to shooting people. That's the case. Now, that was one of your own. We understand that. We also understand that the officers who were being threatened could have had witness protection, had your identity changed, put in a hotel, motel, another country perhaps. But it's the shooting, the 100 rounds. Now, I understand that the higher-ups said it was out of policy. I believe the commission said it was out of policy. But it indicated the kind of gun activity police officers will utilize simply because they wish to, want it, dead or alive.
Mr. Hunt.
The Red Chief Hunt, for the record. Shooting by LAPD doubles in alarm, police commission president says. That's the day that we was all arrested or chauffeured out of here in the lobby. We was arrested because we was getting ready to talk. I think Chief Beck was given an award that day. That's me getting arrested for unlawful assembly because I wanted to speak on the police shootings trend. That's what LA Times said. But anyways, it really baffles me that Rodney King get beaten and the chief leaves after that. They bring in the federal consent decree, which is needed right now. And it should be no different circumstances than Rodney King getting beaten and the police saying it's just an aberration. Because we know this is just not an aberration. This shit is going on every day, and you guys don't know what to do about it. Now, the thing about this here, one of the reasons why I'm running for Senate is so that I can do something about it. Like I said, Chief Beck really needs to step down. The city of Los Angeles really needs to pick up and bring back the federal consent decree because this guy is dead, or these people are dead, and there's no federal consent decree. And this is what we're missing, an outside independent investigation. And this is what we're really missing is the outside independent investigation. I'm calling back for the federal consent decree, and I'm calling for Chief Beck to resign immediately, effectively today. And I hate to say that, but when people come up dead on routine traffic stops, it doesn't make any sense, especially black people. And that's when Black Lives Matter. So if you guys want to do any recommendations, come back with the federal consent decree for me. That would help me. Red Chief Hunt, thank you.
And the final card on this item is Patricia Mendoza.
I just wanted to say, with all due respect, because I was born and raised on Temple Street in Boylston, I'm 52 years old. I don't blame the president. I don't blame Charlie Beck. I'm only here to remind you that a lot of police officers at the Rampart Police Station on 6th and Wall Street, I've been dealing with them for many years. They have a lot of anger management issues. Everything is a pattern since they're little, okay? A lot of them, God forgive me what I'm going to say, they've been sexually abused. A lot of them, I went to high school with them. They were very shy and quiet people. Now that I see them as officers, I'm like, whoa, I never thought he would have, that personality that to be a police officer. It's about power and control. Mr. Charlie Beck and President and everyone, I don't blame you what they do in the streets. What I'm here to remind you, with all due respect, that you sit down and you have meetings with the watch commanders and sergeants and all these managers and supervisors. I know what they're all about. And you have to have respect for them and work together as a team. But they are lying to you. They are worse than gang members, these people at the Rampart, 6th and Wall Street. And with all due respect, Charlie Beck, I don't hold you responsible. What I ask you, not to allow what's going on, because you're allowing the same thing what's going on in other countries and in Mexico. Ain't no different. What happened in Mexico with Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata, the same thing. The same thing. With all due respect, I've been dealing with all these people. They're evil. They're no different than what my brother has done. It's about power, it's about money, and it's about greed. I know, Mr. Beck, and I know, President, that there's something good inside about you. I don't know you personally, but all I ask you to get rid of all these prior evil officers and have them investigated. Watch commanders and sergeants, because I do know they are the ones to blame. And you are in power with the mayor and president. Get rid of it. Clean it up. It's no different when someone dies and the doctors, this is what they do. They wash their hands. It's like a washing machine.
Thank you for your
and
comments,
they blame
ma'am.
each other. Thank you.
Do we have
We're
any
not-
further comments?
Not on this item. We do have 2 comment cards on 6A2. We have Michael Williams and Ted Hayes. And then we have 2 cards on 6A3.
I put a card in for this one because you guys wouldn't allow me to put a card in on 4G and 4H for some reason. Apparently it was already closed or something like that, which doesn't make any sense to me that you would close an item before public speakers could comment on it. You know, people might have come specifically to speak on those issues, but you already closed them before the meeting was ever adjourned. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say to you guys is that you guys have a specific duty to the community regarding these officers-involved shootings. You have a specific duty to this community to protect it, to keep it safe. That's the government's job. And by keeping a police chief that has basically always said that he will not fire or do any disciplinary action against officers that shoot people. We're glad that he did something for the young person in Venice, but we don't thank him for that because, as I said before, I thank the people behind me for that because they're the ones here putting pressure on him every day, and that's why we still call for his firing. That's why we still call for him to be fired because we know that's the only way. Apparently, that's the only way we get him to do anything. Basically, just you guys have something that you guys could do, and it's something that would make this place a little better. And I hope, I mean, I have very little faith in you guys, I'll be honest. But I hope you guys hear what the people are saying, hear what people from the community are saying, and actually do something that's right and do something that's actually going to make an effectual change instead of just making reports that you disregard and never go anywhere. Thank you.
Mr. Ted Hayes?
I would suggest that you publish the Police Officers' Bill of Rights. California, there's a Police Officers' Bill of Rights. It's very interesting. It indemnifies officers, immunifies officers in various ways. And I think it might be interesting to publish just what it is this board can do. You can't discipline officers. You can't punish officers. Only Charlie Beck can do that. And he can't do that because the police officers have a right to a board hearing. They have a right to go before officers and a representative whenever they're charged with anything. And once everything is concluded, you can't sue them, you can't fire them. The city pays the money. It doesn't come out of the police department budget. It comes out of the taxpayer's pocket. Always, every time. But it would be interesting to publish the various authorities and rights and privileges of the commission, the police chief, and the officers also. We need to know that. You did some good things today, Mr. Johnson, by responding to some of the people who said things. You kind of cleared up some things I think they might not have known previously, and that's very useful. It is, to let them know just what your authority might be. You create policy. That's it. What that means, no one actually knows. I have no idea what the policy is you create. But it's interesting to point that out. That's all that you do, is create policy for the department. But more importantly, the city council does that also.
Okay, there are no other cards on this item. The next item, 6A3, we have Michael Williams and Ted Hayes.
Again, I put in this card just because you guys would not let me put it on 4H. So I just wanted to again talk about the ethics and regarding an officer-involved shooting. You guys have not been ethical in your duties to this city. You guys have not been ethical in the ways that you've treated people here. You guys have not been ethical in trying to be transparent and disclosing information about officers that have been involved in officer-involved shootings and any disciplinary actions thereafter. You guys lack ethical ability to be fair to the people and actually treat us like we're not idiots. Because a lot of people are not idiots. And we're here to understand what happened to our fallen loved ones. What happened to the people in our community that are gone and that are dead. We're trying to figure that out. And you guys have an opportunity to do something significant, which would be fire Charlie Beck. And actually get someone in that is going to uphold a standard that officers that break policies, who don't follow tactical procedures, who use their gun for no reason, need to leave the department and need to be ejected from the department, and not be allowed to continue to serve the community weeks after they just shot someone. That's just a basic thing that should be done across the board. It should be a policy, actually. It should be something that you write into the policies of this department. It's the fact that if you break policy, if you don't follow tactics, if you don't follow procedures that you're trained to do, you should be fired. I would get fired if I was doing the same thing at my job. If I broke procedures and someone got hurt or killed, I'd be fired and arrested. So please get rid of this man that doesn't want to allow justice for people that have been killed by his officers.
Ted Hayes.
Ma'am, please have a seat.
I'd like to know where we're going to be. Are we going to be allowed to sit here while you're in closed session on these 3 items?
Yes, I'm going to keep the room open so everybody can stay here if they would like to.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have no other cards on this item, sir. The Board of Police Commissioners will now recess into closed session to discuss item number 6A, 1, 2, and 3 in accordance with Government Code 54957. Good afternoon. The Board of Police Commissioners has concluded its work in closed session. We are now back in open session. In closed session, item number 6A1 was discussed and the Chief's recommendations were unanimously adopted. In closed session, item number 6A3 was discussed and the Chief's recommendations were unanimously adopted. And in closed session, item 6A2 was discussed, and I will turn that over to Mr. President.
Thank you. My fellow police commissioners and I have just completed the extremely difficult task of carefully reviewing and making a decision regarding the use of force incident which resulted in the death of Mr. Charlie Kanang, 39 years of age, on March 1st, 2015. The loss of Mr. Kanang is nothing short of a tragedy for the family, relatives, loved ones, friends, and the community of Skid Row, as well as the involved police officers. To the family and friends of Mr. Kanang, my fellow police commissioners and I extend our sincere sympathies for your profound loss. There is no greater sadness a family can endure. This commission's review and decision comes at the end of an 11 months of intense investigation. The investigation into the facts of this event were completed by the Los Angeles Police Department Force Investigation Division, which is comprised of very experienced and skilled investigators, in accordance with guidelines set as a result of the federal consent decree. The completed investigation was presented to the Los Angeles Police Department Use of Force Review Board, which is comprised of command staff members of the department. Upon their review, they made a recommendation to the Chief of Police for his consideration. The Chief of Police then provided the Police Commission with his analysis of the investigation and recommendations as to the findings in 5 specific areas: tactics of the involved officers, drawing, exhibiting of the firearm by the involved officers, non-lethal use of force by the involved officers, less lethal use of force by the involved officers, and the lethal use of force by the involved officers. That document will be available via a California Public Records request with the names of the involved officers redacted this afternoon in the office of the Police Commission. During the past 11 months, our Inspector General, Alexander Bustamante, and members of his staff on behalf of the Police Commission monitored the investigation from the initial steps of responding to the scene through attending the Use of Force Review Board. The Inspector General was given unfettered access to all of the investigative materials. The Inspector General provided the Police Commission with an independent analysis and recommendation into the same areas that the Chief of Police did: tactics, drawing, exhibiting, non-lethal use of force, less lethal use of force, and lethal use of force. As is the case in all categorical use of force incidents, the Inspector General will have available for public review an abridged summary of his independent analysis of this incident on behalf of the Police Commission. That's available on the department website, www.lapdonline.org, and that will be available by the end of business today. The members of the Police Commission received and reviewed copies of all of the investigative materials before today's discussion and decision. These documents included statements of 9 interviews of the involved officers, 14 citizen witnesses, which were identified in 2 canvases for witnesses, review of all personal cell phone, building surveillance, and officer body-worn videos, 42 items recovered as evidence, and the results of the DNA comparison on 10 items. This morning, the Police Commission was given a presentation by the Force Investigation Division investigators with a very thorough and complete overview of this investigation. The presentation was followed with a discussion with the Chief of Police and Inspector General relative to their respective analysis of the incident in the areas of tactics, drawing, exhibiting, non-lethal use of force, less lethal use of force, and lethal use of force. This commission takes its responsibility to the community and the Los Angeles Police Department very seriously when considering incidents in which Los Angeles police officers use deadly force. I am confident that we have been presented a very thorough and complete investigation, with analysis provided by skilled and talented members of both the Los Angeles Police Department and our Inspector General's office. Our analysis has been deliberate, thoughtful, and compassionate based on our best understanding of the facts. The recommendation of the Chief of Police for all officers was that their actions were in policy in all 5 areas. The recommendation of the Inspector General for all officers was that their actions were in policy in all 5 areas. My fellow police commissioners and I, as the civilian oversight body of the Los Angeles Police Department, have made our decision on this incident relative to the appropriateness in each of the 5 areas. With regard to tactics, as it relates to the tactics in this incident, the Police Commission found that the actions of 2 sergeants, 1 police officer 3, and 2 police officer 2 were in policy tactical debrief. That vote was unanimous. As to the actions of 1 police officer 1, the Police Commission found the tactics to be out of policy. That vote was 3-2. On the issue of drawing, exhibiting of the weapon, the Police Commission found that the actions of all involved officers were in policy. That vote was unanimous. Regarding the non-lethal use of force, the Police Commission found that the actions of all involved officers were in policy. That vote was unanimous. Regarding the less than lethal use of force, the Police Commission found that the actions of all involved officers were in policy. Vote unanimous. Regarding the lethal use of force or firing of the weapon, the Police Commission found that the actions of all involved officers were in policy. That vote was unanimous. Pursuant to California law, my fellow commissioners and I, along with those who were present in the closed session meeting, are unable to divulge any of the information discussed during those meetings, including our justification leading to our individual decisions. The determination as to the criminal culpability of the involved officers is the responsibility of the Los Angeles County District Attorney and not within authority of the Chief of Police or Police Commission. This incident has changed all involved in it forever. The Los Angeles Police Department is a constantly evolving entity which moves forward through experiences, training, understanding, and humanity.
They've killed people after Charlie Africa.
My direction to the department is to use this tragic case as a tool of evolution to move forward in providing law enforcement service to the city of Los Angeles that is effective, fair, and at the forefront of American policing. Again, our thoughts remain with those impacted by this tragic incident. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Meeting adjourned.
Is that your motion to adjourn?
Hi, I'm Jen Mahoney in Studio City. You're watching LA City View Channel 35, where you can get the best in culture and arts. It's our city, it's our channel.
Hey, just go!
This is a famous image series of